Before we begin, we ask that you fill out this Google survey to the best of your abilities. It will be linked below. Thanks. Our presentation will begin shortly. For our project, we chose The Road Within. A brief summary is that the movie follows the main character Vincent, who has Tourette's. He has an aggressive father who sends him to an inpatient facility to try to get him some help controlling his tics. He meets two other patients, Marie and Alex, who have different disabilities. Vincent and Marie steal a car and force Alex to go along to prevent being caught. They go on a road trip to California so Vincent can spread his mom's ashes, but along the way he finds love and a new friend. As I said earlier, Vincent has Tourette's, and this becomes a very prominent part of the movie, showing how it affects his life in very negative ways, such as the funeral scene in the beginning of the movie. As I mentioned earlier, the three main characters are Alex, Marie, and Vincent. Alex has OCD, Marie has anorexia, and Vincent has Tourette's. These three disabilities are prominent throughout the whole movie. In the first clip, Alex will show a tendency of OCD, and in the second clip, Marie will show a tendency of anorexia.
I didn't say you could come in. Whoa! Take your shoes off! Take them off! It's all over again now.
These are my inside shoes. I promise you. There's no germs on them.
What about his? His shoes are defiled.
Well, perfect opportunity for behavioral exercise.
I don't want to do a behavioral exercise! I want him and his filthy feet out of here.
In one of these exercises, I operate as if there's nothing wrong so that Alex can see if there's anything wrong.
What's going on?
He's had his food on me.
Okay, that is disgusting.
He's contaminated me. I'm gonna get sick now. Who does that? Who spits their food out? No, I'm gonna have to go and change now.
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Really? Well, then you can go.
Vincent's Tourette's is depicted in the film as a debilitating illness. He has been on countless drugs and medication to help ease his nerves, but nothing seemed to help him control his tics. His tics overwhelm him and prevent him in partaking in activities that the average teenager can. Some of his tics include violent and aggressive sporadic movements, shouting out profanity, and flipping people off. Due to these tics, Vincent was unable to graduate from high school or reach his goals by attending college. In addition to this, these tics make him incapable of driving a car, as seen in the film where he nearly crashes head-on into a tree because he was ticking while driving. What makes matters worse is that he can't control these tics. Vincent describes holding in a tic to holding in a sneeze. It is extremely uncomfortable and nearly impossible. Due to this, the film shows Vincent ticking at wildly inappropriate times. One of these times was at the church in the opening scene. The movie opens as Vincent is attending his own mother's funeral. There, he is seen trying to hold in his tics, but to no avail, it doesn't help. He ends up swearing at the priest, calling him a pedophile, and storms out of the church crying from the frustration and anger his Tourette's is causing him. Although he can't control these tics, the entire congregation frowns upon Vincent, including his own father, who is ashamed of him for having Tourette's and yelling out these unbecoming remarks. Vincent feels as if his brain were broken due to his Tourette's and inability to control his tics and therefore control his actions.
Shut up, fucking pedophile.
She did her best to be there for all those in her life. Her son, her family, her friends. Sometimes this meant forgetting about her own...
Cunt-looking fucking faggot. You dye your hairy pubes ginger. Fuck! You fucking cunt! Fucking faggot! Oh!
As previously mentioned, Vincent has a wide range of symptoms. Some of the things that Vincent does doesn't align with the traditional view of Tourette's syndrome. These include his self-destructive behavior and punching. Vincent, however, does thrash, scream, make obscene gestures, and have repeated movements that are very common for the disability. Other common tics of Tourette's that are not displayed by Vincent may include vocal noises, twitching, rapid eye movements, hopping or jumping, throat clearing, and barking. According to Dr. Fernandez in the neurology department of the Cleveland Clinic, there is a massive range of motor and vocal tics that individuals with a disability may experience. These tics occur on a spectrum of hyperkinetic movements. They may be both complex and simple. This may explain the variation between Vincent's symptoms and what some people may know to be as Tourette's. Dr. Fernandez also states that the tics may be more likely to occur following an unpleasant sensory experience, which is common in Vincent's case, as discussed previously.
We believe that people will have a greater understanding of the disability after watching the movie. This is due to how accurately the disability is described and the emotions that the disability provokes. The actor who played Vincent showed the frustration of not being able to control his tics and the embarrassment he feels when he tics in public.
In this scene, Vincent is meeting his new roommate Alex for the first time. Alex is obviously shocked and disgusted at the idea of a roommate and begins to yell at Vincent and Dr. Rose. Because Alex has OCD, he is worried that Vincent is going to ruin his space and contaminate the room. This causes a large amount of stress to both Vincent and Alex. Due to the high levels of emotion in this scene, Vincent's tics are more likely to occur. We see Vincent displaying tics, including cursing, obscene gestures, and repeated movements involving his head.
Hey, don't touch those. In fact, don't come over to this side of the room. This is my bed, my desk, and my wardrobe. Everything on that side can be yours, but you do not cross this line, understood? All right. What's wrong with you? Why are you here?
Me? Raghead. Fuck! Raghead!
She simply cannot be serious. Dr. Rose!
Oh, fuck!
Dr. Rose!
Raghead! I'm sorry.
One of the major aspects of the plot is that Vincent suffers severely from being incapable of controlling his own tics. During one scene in the film, the three runaways are trying to rob a convenience store. Vincent tried to distract the clerk by ticking, but was not able to do so. He could not tick when he wanted to. This is evident during the opening scene in the church, where he was unable to control his tics during his mother's funeral, which led to him uncontrollably shouting at the priest. This scene is exemplary of how this disability was initially portrayed in the film. After the scene, we learn that Vincent's father is ashamed of his disabilities. He tells Vincent that he wouldn't be able to even drive to 7-Eleven during an argument that they were having, as a way to insult his son's disability. We then find out that Vincent's father looks at his son's condition as a negative characteristic that needs to be severely treated. So bad to the point that he sends him away to some rehabilitation center because he is too busy to deal with his son on a daily basis due to his political campaign. Prior to Vincent's experience at the rehabilitation center, his relationship with his father was completely falling apart.
That it? Yeah. Thank you.
It's $5.95 then.
Can I help you?
No, thanks.
Dude, $5.95. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Initially, the disability was portrayed negatively. He is seen as just a kid with Tourette's who is sad about his mom's death and angry at everything else that's going on in the world. Vincent's father also doesn't treat him as a son due to his Tourette's and is embarrassed to be related to him. In the church scene, his dad looks at him like he did something wrong even though he can't control his tics. Throughout the movie, Vincent's father learned from Vincent's psychologist that a lot of Vincent's stress spans from his father's genetics, resulting in Vincent's tics happening more frequently. Once Vincent found friends, he begins to see that there are other people who suffer from different conditions. He also, for the first time in his life, does not look down upon his Tourette's as a disability, but rather as a defining characteristic of his personality. Vincent's father also learns that his son is capable of doing many things and does not have a broken brain, as he said earlier in the film.
Thank you for watching our presentation, and we hope that you enjoyed. Linked below is a typing activity that can help you understand the frustration and anger a person with Tourette's could feel. This activity is not a close representation of what a person's life with Tourette's is like, but it can help you begin to understand the frustration they feel. We also recommend you look over the survey you took in the beginning and see if you know the answers to the questions you got wrong.